We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Night Terrors Harley Quinn issue 2. This is a two-part micro-series from DC Comics in 2023 that ties into the Night Terrors storyline. Written by Tini Howard, art by Hayden Sherman. Triona Farrell did the colors, Steve Wan's letters, Hayden Sherman did the cover. Associate editor Jessica Burby, Ariana Totoro did the editing, and Ben Abernathy was the group editor. The main story finds Harley annoyed that somehow the multiverse wants her to join the Justice League, so she ends up going into one of the universes where she's the heroic Harley Quinn, and she swears a lot because that's funny, right? Because it's a Silver Age style book, so it's really over the top with cheese and silliness because those were aimed at juveniles, and apparently the writer didn't understand that. So they have to mock the Silver Age for a little while, and Harley finds Poison Ivy, only to learn Brainiac's back. Oh no! And he wants her brains, and he can read her thought bubbles, and she's really annoyed by the thought bubbles because she can see them, which is really stupid. So the storyline is basically just mocking the Silver Age books and the style of writing that was done with them. It's really insulting to older fans that enjoyed those books as kids because those books were aimed at children. They were aimed at elementary and middle school children, and the author of this doesn't seem to understand that, or is just blatantly mocking people that grew up with that era of comics. In the end, Harley meets some lady who's a cosmic being and says how smart and validates Harley a bunch, and tells her she has some glorious mission. I don't care. It was really dumb. It was insulting to the Silver Age books that are the foundation of modern comics, and it was just lazy writing. The dialogue was uninspired and boring. The art's a real mixed bag, mostly an homage to Silver Age stuff, but poorly done. I didn't care for it. It wasn't the worst I've ever seen, but it definitely wasn't the best. It could have been better. There were some really good parts early on, but mostly it was just very mediocre, and I was bored. The backup story is by Leah Williams with art by PJ Holden, colors by Lee Loughridge, letters by Hassan Otsmane-Elhaou, Jessica Burby, associate editor, Ariana Totoro, editor, Ben Abernathy, group editor. Apparently Ben Templesmith couldn't be bothered to finish the story, so they got PJ Holden to do it. And it picks up with the silliness of last issue, where apparently you can just cut through walls and travel. It's very silly. And it turns out old lady Harley, who looks really old now, is apparently on a ship inside of a quantum vacuum, and the story tries to be really smart with the science stuff and ends up coming off as pretentious, speculative fan fiction. It's really obnoxious, and the old Harley gets absorbed into the collective consciousness of the ship, which becomes its fuel, and the new Harley takes their place, and the cycle continues. It would have been fine as a short story, not involving a comic book character. Even as a comic book, it could have been interesting with a different character that wasn't a superhero, and it could have been some kind of series of some sort, at least semi-interesting, but it tries too hard to sound smart, and the art is absolute trash. This is amateur hour art that I would expect to find in an indie book published in like 1982. It is very, very badly done. Perspective shots are awkward at best. Body proportions are laughably bad. This is far from professional work. It's not even worthy of being Dynamite. This is a self-published art style that definitely needs refinement and a lot of work and probably some art classes. All in all, this was a waste of money. Don't bother unless you get it for free somewhere. Even as a dollar bin material, it wasn't very good. The first issue was slightly better, actually, and I thought this was a disappointing waste of money and a giant waste of my time. And the cover doesn't really help because it doesn't tell you anything about what's going on, so it's a complete failure. But that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.